WXVT, Greenville, Greenwood, Cleveland.
Hi everybody, I'm Steve Schill. Coming up on your Delta News at 10, an exclusive interview. A Greenville family demands justice for a loved one who, after 16 years, is still behind bars. They say for a crime he did not commit. Fog is beginning to form, and the National Weather Service has issued a dense fog advisory for the entire Delta. I've got your forecast coming up shortly.
Delta News at 10 starts now.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. A Greenville mother is asking for help. She wants justice for her son. 16 years ago, her then very young son was sent to prison in an exclusive interview. You're only going to see right here on WXVT. RENAE Skinner speaks to the heartbroken mother. RENAE.
Well, Steve, I spoke to Cassandra Johnson and her family, who say their loved one is innocent and was sentenced for a crime he didn't do. Johnson says not only was her son falsely convicted, but his sentencing was just too harsh.
Has he shot anyone? Has he killed anyone? Has he raped anyone? Has he done anything physically to anyone? Show me the proof.
Cassandra Johnson fought back tears when she asked, what did her son do wrong?
No one should have to sit behind bars for nothing.
Johnson's son is 34-year-old Orlando Dion Gibson. He was just a teen when sentenced to 50 years behind bars for a crime his family says he didn't do.
I wouldn't want to see anyone's child go through this.
In 1997, Gibson and his younger brother were at a fair at the Washington County Convention Center. All of a sudden, a gang of men attacked Gibson's brother, and in order to stop the fighting, Gibson did what he thought was right. Now, this is what the Johnson family says happened. Orlando runs to a car, he opens the door, then reaches inside for a gun, pulls it out, and fires 1, 2, 3, 4 shots in the air in order to stop the fighting.
All these many guys jumping on his one brother, you know, that's what they did back in the days in order to jump you into a gang. A whole lot of guys will jump on you and you're initiated. They put you in the game.
Gibson was then shot in the back by an officer. According to court documents, 2 sheriff's deputies on the scene testified in court that during the fight, Gibson grabbed a gun and fired several shots at a crowd of people.
He didn't shoot the gun into the crowd because he knew his daughter was there, so he shot it in the air just to scare the guys off.
The deputies also said Gibson fired shots at them. They acted in self-defense and shot back. A jury found Gibson guilty on an aggravated assault charge as well as an assault on an officer.
So it was his word against the teenager's word against all of these officers, and who do you think they're gonna believe?
After doing some digging, I found out Gibson had no criminal background prior to this incident, but was still given a maximum sentence on both charges. I talked to Tucker Gore, who was one of the prosecutors during Gibson's trial. Gore says, quote, in this case, the judge determined to give the maximum sentencing on each charge. The appeal papers have been filed. He was given an appeal, but however, the conviction and sentencing was upheld in court. Gore also says the Johnson family can try what's called a post-conviction relief. It's a document that asks the court to review the case again. The success rate of winning one is low, but it can happen.
It's going to be a bigger picture, and it's working itself out.
While the Johnson family searches for answers, they remain confident that Gibson's daughter, brother, sister, and other family members will see him free again.
Eventually one day he will come home with us, and to actually leave him there, it's hard for us.
And the Johnson family says Orlando Gibson is serving his sentence in Parchman, where he has received several beatings and is not getting the medical attention he needs. Now, there's some good news, though. After this story aired during our earlier newscast, the Johnson family tells me several people have called in offering help and advice. Now, if you would like to offer legal advice or know someone that can help the Johnson family, call the number you see there on your screen, 662-616-7105 or 662-537-1166. Steve, back to you.
Great job, great job. Fire destroys the homes of 10 families, and now members in the community are doing what they can to help them pick up the pieces. All week, the Greenville Fire Department and the Red Cross have been accepting donations for the families that lost everything in Sunday's fire at Magnolia Arms Apartments. Greenville and Washington County residents have been showing up to the number 3 fire station with cars loaded with clothes, food, and in some cases, furniture and even appliances. Today is the first day families arrived at the station to begin the recovery process. With over 30 people in need of basic necessities, Fire Chief Reuben Brown expresses his appreciation for the outpouring of goodwill.
A great deal to the families that was affected in the fire at Magnolia Arms. A fire is actually a disaster. You know, we definitely doesn't have to have a tornado or a flood to come through for a disaster, but for the families, this isn't a disaster, and they are really very appreciative and overwhelmed by the support of the community.
The 10 families will be at the station again tomorrow to pick out clothes. The fire department will continue accepting donations through Friday at 5 p.m.
And in other news, one of the top-rated colleges in the state of Mississippi ceremoniously inducts its newest president. Today, Coahoma Community College held an inauguration for Dr. Valmij T. Towner in Clarksdale. Towner is now officially the 5th president of the college. Towner was also inducted as the 9th superintendent of the Agricultural High School.